Welcome to our channel, where hidden mysteries and truths are revealed layer by layer, where each story contains intrigue, emotions, and complex relationships that you have never seen anywhere else. If you love dramatic dramas, dark family secrets, and heart-pounding twists, then this is the place you cannot miss. Get ready to explore with us emotional stories, where truth and lies are always intertwined, where every person has a hidden corner that has never been told. Peaches stood there, in the dim light of the late afternoon, her eyes flashing with a determination mixed with excitement that only secrets kept for too long can create. She took a deep breath, feeling her heart pounding, then walked closer to Eva, who was still standing in a daze in the room filled with darkness and memories that seemed to have fallen asleep. The surrounding space seemed to become so quiet that Peaches' every breath, every small step, echoed clearly. Her heart was pounding, not because of fear, but because of the feeling of both release and tension, because she was finally about to let go of a secret that had haunted her since she was very young. Peaches leaned in, her eyes focused and determined, then softly uttered the words that made the whole room collapse: Nicole was her biological mother. Eva blinked, as if she couldn't believe what her ears had just heard. Shocked not only by the words, but by the entire weight of the truth that Peaches had just revealed. A feeling of loss rushed over her, as if the most solid foundation she had ever relied on suddenly collapsed, causing her to lose balance both emotionally and mentally. Before Eva's eyes, all the memories, feelings, and beliefs about Leslie were shaking, shattering into pieces. Confusion, fear, and anger mingled within her. Eva's eyes widened, her chest pounded, her thoughts like fragments of a puzzle she struggled to piece together. She remembered her childhood years, the sulks, the comforting words, and the intimate moments with Leslie, but now, everything seemed to be covered in a thick fog of doubt and pain. Nicole's image appeared in her mind, but no longer a normal stranger, but her biological mother, someone she had never known, someone who had quietly existed in the darkness of the past years. Peaches stood still, observing every movement on Eva's face, noticing the anger and hurt glimmering through her shocked eyes. She knew that this revelation would not only change the relationship between Eva and Nicole, but also bring with it a series of mental and emotional consequences that Eva would have to face. Peaches knew she couldn't explain everything at once. It would take time, a slow process for Eva to accept the truth. But she couldn't keep the secret any longer, because the silence would only deepen Eva's wounds and make them ache more. Meanwhile, Eva kept looking at Peaches with a look that was both desperate and probing. She wondered if everything she had ever known about Leslie was really the truth, or if it was just lies covered up by sweet stories and false comfort. She felt a storm of emotions swirling inside her: anger, disappointment, pain, and a desire to know the truth about herself. The feeling of betrayal made her heart suffocate, but at the same time, the truth also opened a new door, leading to unimagined possibilities of a real relationship with Nicole. Peaches sighed, her eyes glistening a little sadly, but still full of determination. She knew that after this moment, nothing would be the same again. Eva would have to face the truth, the complicated emotions, and herself. She told herself that, although the family relationship would be difficult, the wounds would be painful, but the truth was the only thing that could save everyone from the persistent lies. Eva stood still for a moment, as if trying to swallow the information. Part of her wanted to run away from this truth, hide in the sweet memories with Leslie, but another part, a deep part of her soul, urged to look straight at reality, no matter how painful it was. Her mind was filled with unanswered questions. Why was Nicole hiding? Who was Leslie really in her life? How would the relationships around her change? Peaches said nothing more, just stood there, silently, letting Eva face the storm of emotions on her own. In the silence, she sensed Eva's mental collapse, but also saw a glimmer of realization, acceptance, however weak. She knew that this truth was not always easy, but it was the only foundation on which everything later could be solid. The two stood there, in the empty space and suffocating silence, where the past, present, and future intertwined. Secrets that had been hidden for so long now burst forth, bringing with them conflicts, contradictions, and new possibilities that neither of them could have imagined. Eva felt her heart pounding harder than ever, as if it were about to jump out of her chest, reminding her that life would never be normal again. In those moments, Nicole appeared in Eva's mind, not as a strange figure, but as a complex entity with secrets, regrets, and unexpressed feelings. Eva wondered, had everything she had ever felt about family, about love and protection, been replaced by a web of lies? The memories of Leslie were now chaotic, no longer a comfort but a piece of the puzzle displaced from its original order. Peaches stood beside her, noticing every expression on Eva's face, every trembling movement of her hands, every frown of her eyebrows filled with anxiety. She knew that this process would be long. There would be times when Eva would want to run away, to hide, but the truth had been revealed, and now there was no way to take it back. Every passing moment was a moment when Eva had to face herself, with the mixed emotions she had never experienced before. And in that moment, Peaches felt a heavy but meaningful responsibility. She would not only reveal the truth, but also have to accompany Eva through the difficulties, pain, and psychological instability that were to come. She realized that sometimes the truth was a bitter medicine, but it was the only thing that could heal the wounds that had been suppressed for too long. With all the secrets revealed, with a heart full of anxiety and overflowing emotions, Eva began to realize that her life had changed forever. Old relationships are no longer the same, suppressed emotions are now erupting, and future decisions will shape the path ahead. Their story continues, full of surprises, full of contradictions, and no one knows what will happen next. If you want to follow the next developments of Eva, Peaches, and Nicole, click to follow our channel now. Each episode will be a new twist, a new secret, and each story will keep you glued to your eyes. Don't miss it, because the truth is waiting for you to discover, and untold surprises will only appear on our channel.